2018 Škoda Rapid Spaceback Review. The good points of Škoda Rapid Spaceback. Practical touches. Great passenger space. Characterful 1.0-liter petrol. Low running costs. The bad points of Škoda Rapid Spaceback. Smaller boot than regular Rapid. Clattery diesel engines. Cheap filling interior. Slow changing DSG automatic. The Škoda Rapid Spaceback is really a compact, practical car that sits over the Fabia but below the Octavia inside check marks range. The Spaceback efforts to blend the looks of any hatchback together with the practicality and adaptability of an estate, and possesses young families inexpensively in mind. It's a part of Škoda's push to redevelop its range for Europe and acquire the brand into key markets where they've never had a presence before, with all the aim to see sales inside the UK are 1.5 million a year by 2018. That said, the Rapid isn't a large seller within the UK, with all the aforementioned models, which has a bigger British fan base. Launched in 2014, the Spaceback, as well as longer, regular Rapid hatchback sibling, were treated to your facelift with updates on the exterior, interior and engine range in 2017. It faces off against mainstream hatchback rivals such as Ford Focus hatchback, Hyundai i30 hatchback and Kia Ceed hatchback. Same passenger space, smaller boot. Škoda deliberately doesn't call the Rapid Spaceback an estate, and for good reason. It's 18 centimeters shorter compared to Rapid hatchback, instead insisting it's another solution 5-door and produced for lifestyle types instead of out-on-out load lugging. The wheelbase, however, continues to be the same as the standard Rapids at 2,602 mm, meaning that the Spaceback has some impressive passenger space. Taller passengers are going to be pleased to learn about the 980 mm headroom. But it can mean boot space has suffered, and even though the Rapid hatchback can take 550 liters of luggage while using seats constantly in place, the Spaceback makes do with only 415 liters. The theme continues if the seats are folded flat, with all the figure dropping from 1,490 liters into a still impressive 1,381 liters. The elective double cargo floor, however, supplies a choice of boot floor height and adds additional practicality. The parcel shelf is usually stowed resistant to the rear seat base too. For those times you have to carry taller loads, you should not leave the stress cover at your home. Range of petrol and diesel engines. Based on the very same design since the Rapid up towards the rear side of the front doors, it ought to come as not surprising that the Spaceback shares a lot of other components achievable car. And so it is to use engine line, the leading wheel drive Spaceback boasting a selection of diesel and petrol engines. There really are a pair of turbocharged TSI petrols in 1.0 and 1.4-liter capacities, and also 1.4 and 1.6-liter TDI diesels. Dependent on which engine you ultimately choose, there's sometimes a 5 or 6-speed manual available, or possibly a 7-speed DSG automatic gearbox. The 1.4-liter TDI diesel engine currently ranks as being the most fuel-efficient inside range, occurring claimed figures of 72.4 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 103 gkm. Design that emotionally connects. There actually is no getting away from Škoda's prefer to see this as being a lifestyle addition to its range instead of a load lugger, and also the firm even supplies a prolonged rear window. By extending the dark tinted area of the trunk screen into the tailgate by 100 mm, it visually lowers the Rapid Spaceback's rear, turning it into look more glassy. Teamed using the huge optional panoramic glass roof, you'd probably be forgiven for thinking the glazed area stretches entirely from the bottom of the windscreen. The verdict. The Škoda Rapid Spaceback is often a practical proposition that contributes a dose of additional style that this frumpy regular hatchback can't contend with. It's value for money and cheap to perform, but interior quality may very well be improved, and it also's not exactly probably the most exciting thing to operate a vehicle. The better 1.0-liter TSI could be the engine of preference, but stop the slurring DSG automatic gearbox if you possibly could. It's slow to improve gears and dulls performance. Škoda Rapid Spaceback Review. Same engine range as Rapid Saloon. Fruity 1.0 TSI is fun. 7-speed DSG is slow to shift. Mirroring the normal hatch's performance, the Škoda Rapid Spaceback's propulsion is dealt with 5 engine options, 3 petrol and a couple of diesels. Power outputs consist of 90 horsepower to 125 horsepower. Smooth petrol engines. The petrol engine range starts inside UK together with the 95 horsepower 1.0 TSI engine, which although smooth and offering acceptable performance from the lower gears soon runs out of steam as speeds increase. The 0.62 mph Sprint takes 11.0 seconds when equipped using the 5-speed manual and 11.3 seconds while using 7-speed DSG automatic. The automatic adds additional easy-of-use benefit, but is slow to reply to sudden inputs, and also the slurred gear changes might be irritating. We also worry that in the event the car is rich in kids and kit, the other weight may highlight its performance shortcoming a lot more. Next inside the range may be the higher-powered 1.0 TSI with 110 horsepower, knowing that extra 15 horsepower makes an enormous difference while traveling. The good news is there's no significant penalty with regards to CO2 emissions or economy if you select this engine. The engine is smooth and quiet and with an abundance of power, so overtaking is easy, as well as the addition of an 6th gear creates excellent motorway refinement. This engine is manual only, which is capable of reaching 62 mph in 9.8 seconds. We debate that this engine may be the pick with the range. For individuals who require a little extra performance, completing the petrol make is the 1.4 TSI with 125 horsepower. This engine is automatic only, and sprints from 0.62 mph in 8.9 seconds. Economical diesel engines. There are 2 diesel choices inside Rapid Spaceback range, single 0.4-liter TDI plus a larger 1.6-liter version. The 1.4-liter TDI has 90 horsepower, which is available with either 5-speed manual gearbox or perhaps a 7-speed DSG automatic. Regardless of transmission choice, it's the slowest engine inside the Spaceback's range, 0.62 mph in 11.6 seconds for your manual or 11.7 seconds to the automatic. The larger 1.6-liter TDI engine has 116 horsepower, and will probably be the better choice for those doing several thousand miles annually. Nevertheless, there is more power readily available for overtaking, and yes, it still manages solid fuel economy figures. It manages a decent 9.9 second 0.62 mph time, but is manual only. Placid and safe to operate a vehicle. Better placed out and about. Light steering. While it's not essentially the most exciting or engaging car drive in automobile, the Škoda Rapid Spaceback's handling is neat enough. With a well-balanced chassis and tight body deal with it inspires a significant degree of confidence. The Spaceback displays fine numbers of traction during hard cornering, odd to you push it, nonetheless it's an automobile that's about being simple to live with. It's very smooth along with the ride is supple, only agitated from the largest of ruts within the road. It also comes using the latest technology and safety systems for instant stability and traction control to successfully always feel completely in control of the vehicle regardless on the conditions. Using a lightweight design was key to your Rapid's inception, plus it shows on the streets where it feels nippy and agile. It's not a vehicle that wills yourself to thrash it, nevertheless it's effective at gripping well in the event you throw it into a corner. The steering is light, even at motorway speeds, that make it fidgety when you're heavy-handed with steering inputs, but helps make the Rapid Spaceback simple to dart out partying and park. Easy to get in touch to cell phone. Controls an easy task to hand. Notchy manual gearbox. Inside, the Škoda Rapid Spaceback incorporates a simple and clean design that has a layout that makes it an easy task to navigate around. It's shared together with the regular Rapid hatchback, and people familiar together with the brand will not likely find it difficult to make use of. Behind the steering wheel is really a set of clearly laid out instruments, with speedometer, rev counter and trip computer all present and correct. The center console itself is intuitive to make use of. The sedan in particular is straightforward to navigate around with clear, simple to watch graphics. Handily, the instructions can even be displayed inside the trip computer relating to the main instruments, which means you don't always ought to look with the center console. Like other VW Group cars, the touchscreen reacts hand motions coming towards it, so some with the sub-menus take off as your hand approaches. Using different media is not difficult, as is also tuning the air, while we just like the way the USB and OIN sockets they fit next with a storage compartment well suited for your phone or iPod. The controls has essential controls on the website for volume and equipment like cruise control, but is not overwhelming or old or cluttered, while their air conditioning and climate control are simple to use. Plenty of vents around the auto ensure it reaches your desired temperature quickly. TSI rolls are hushed on the road. Ride definitely not affected by larger wheels. Clattery diesels might get tiresome. Comfort from the Škoda Rapid Spaceback is impressive, helped in part with the supportive seats and lots of passenger room allowing occupants to loosen up on longer journeys. 4 adults are typically able to travel in complete comfort. If you ultimately choose one on the TSI petrol engines, the motors are barely noticeable, but wind noise dominates the cabin at motorway cruising speeds. It's much less loud that you can't employ a conversation, nevertheless it cancels the efforts small petrol engines make to keep as quiet as you can. The 1.6-liter TDI diesel adds the classic diesel clatter on the mix on the go, and is able to sound rather like a van even in the event the engine is warm. The suspension is reasonably soft, meaning bumps and potholes are managed quite easily, making for a snug ride. Rear space is plentiful, with plenty of legroom available whether or not your driver or front passenger has ended 6 feet tall. Headroom is every bit as very good, even if you decide on the optional panoramic sunroof. The window line is extremely high, that might lead young kids to be irritated from the lack of view out, but there's 2 USB points as standard that could charge mobile phones at a corner end with the center console. Touchscreen infotainment on all models. Smartphone mirroring from Czech or more. Handy umbrella of vintage Skoda touch. Similar to its more conventional Rapid hatchback counterpart, the Spaceback are going to be available in 3 trim levels, S, Tech and Sport. It's worth noting that aircon is standard over the range. Standard Škoda Rapid Spaceback equipment. The basic S comes well equipped together with the latest safety technology, but as befitting the elementary model it is often a little sparse on the subject of items of convenience. Looking on the spec list, the one highlights to get picked out are 15-inch steel wheels, a 6.5-inch touchscreen for your multimedia system, Bluetooth connectivity, remote central locking, mid-range SATEC trim has 16-inch alloy wheels, SATNAV, cruise control, rear parking sensors, climate control, mirror link, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a handy umbrella under top passenger seat, the range-topping Say Sport features, 17-inch black alloy wheels, a panoramic glass roof, extended tailgate glass, sports seats and sports detailing for that exterior. Optional Škoda Rapid Spaceback extras. If you intend to make your Rapid Spaceback much more personal, then there's numerous options to try this. There are lots of paint colors available, like the rather lurid rally green and pearlescent black. There are also additional alloy wheel choices to help include a bit more style. Buyers, after having a bit of additional convenience, can specify heated seats in both top and rear, xenon headlights, back and front parking sensors along with a parking camera. Full 5-star safety rating. Care Connect features emergency call function. Good standard of safety equipment. As you would expect through the Czech manufacturer's previous record within this sector, Škoda Rapid Spaceback safety levels are perfect. Standard safety equipment includes front, side and head airbags, height adjustable 3-point safety belts with pretensioners from the front, ABS anti-lock braking system and escape electronic stability control systems all fitted as standard. The Rapid Spaceback and its particular regular hatch sibling are available with Care Connect, which features a serious event call function, in addition to service or breakdown calling from a pair of buttons next towards the front interior lighting switches. Other optional precautionary features include tire pressure control, fog lamps with cornering function plus the hill hold control assistant. Ample space back and front. Several cubbies and storage spaces. Front center console cup holder too big for bottles. Passenger space is the place the Rapid Spaceback really shines. There's another 8 mm of headroom above the saloon and legroom is generous. Even 6-footers can have little overuse injury in there. There isn't a shortage of storage options inside the Škoda Rapid Spaceback either, with cup holders, iPhone holders, a sunglasses compartment, waste bins, ticket holders, cupboards and storage nets all available. It even gets the trademark Škoda ice scraper hidden neatly within the fuel filler cap. The Škoda Rapid Spaceback is 4,304 mm long, 1,459 mm tall and 1,706 mm wide. Those numbers are virtually meaningless independently, but being a reference point, the Spaceback is slightly smaller compared to a Vauxhall Astra plus a Ford Focus, yet offers more interior and boot space compared to the latter. Škoda Rapid Spaceback practicality is good. Despite not creating a boot as big since the Rapid hatchback, that doesn't stop the Spaceback still being competitive within the sector with 415 liters available stretching 1,381 liters with all the rear seats folded flat. Also included can be a double cargo floor which is usually used to create a supplementary compartment, great for smaller goods that you'd want to leave within on a more permanent basis. A double-sided floor cover with one carpeted side along with the other a rubber-like material that's dirt and water repellent. Ideal for carrying wet or muddy dogs or any outdoor gear which will damage the rug otherwise. There's also a range of hooks and nets offered to help stop your shopping from rolling out throughout the drive home in the supermarket, whilst the armrest inside the rear lowers, permitting longer items to get carried.